All right, I'm going to challenge Brother Joe's knowledge tonight. Let's see if he remembers this game. 1968, Joe. You remember that year?
I do.
Yale was playing Harvard. You remember what they called that game?
Yale.
Harvard were playing, 1968. Both undefeated, 8-0 going into the game. The game has stood forever, and it's been called basically the game.
Yeah.
And the headline that we're going to talk about paper the very next day. I'll tell you a little bit about it as we go. It's called probably the greatest single headline in the history of the sports world. It may not, I love sports. Used to play them a lot. I don't get into memorabilia and all that a whole lot, but this was something that I thought was really interesting. It was incredible. In 1968, Harvard and Yale, it been called the game. Both teams were undefeated. With 3 minutes and 34 seconds to go, Yale leads 29-13. But Harvard recovered the ball. Harvard makes it down the field and scores a touchdown and gets the 2-point conversion. It made the game 29 Yale, 21 Harvard. They're still 8 points down with only 42 seconds on the clock. Everyone knew they would have to try an onside kick. You just got to if you want a chance to win. Yale got the ball but immediately fumbled it, and Harvard recovers on the 49-yard line. Suddenly, the impossible seemed plausible, if not improbable. With 20 seconds left on the clock and third down, Harvard made it to the 6-yard line and called a timeout with 14 seconds on the clock. Could they really get a total of 8 points in 42 seconds? Some say 16 points in 42 seconds to win the game. 8 points to tie. Amazingly, Harvard got the touchdown, and the game was now 29-27. They had to go for 2. And they made the 2-point conversion. The Ivy League championship ended in a tie, and they would share the title. But here is the headline from the Harvard student newspaper the next day, one of the greatest headlines in all of sports. Harvard beats Yale 29-29. Rated by ESPN in 2010 as the 9th top best college football game of all times. It was really interesting. It was a tie. Two sides should have felt exactly the same, but they don't. Why? You see, Yale was depressed and Harvard was excited. It's not just the outcome that counts, it's how you get there. And that's what we need to understand about it. It's the trip. It's the journey. It's how you get to that point. They both left that game with an 8-0-1 record, which will never change, and there will never be another season like that because now the college rules has changed. You cannot end in a tie. And so forever, that's going to stay one of the games that people will remember who love sports. Harvard and Yale. When you think about coming back from a 29-13 and tying, an undefeated team, one of their best seasons in the world, both of them, and they end up with a tie. So that leads me into my setting for tonight. Momentous mountains. How many of us have ever had what we call a mountaintop experience? Something huge in your life that you'll never forget it. It's something that it just stuck with you all these years. I can remember many times in my life working with the Lord and working with teenagers, just having those mountaintop experiences where you feel like it doesn't get any better. You're there, and it seems like you're as close to God as you've ever been, and it's just like the most wonderful, beautiful moment in your life as a Christian. I've taken teenagers to the top of mountains and watched the sunset and had devotionals as the sunset on the other side of the mountain. Nothing like it. Singing on top of that mountain. I've been in mission work in the foreign and missionaries in South America, studying with a man on a little river that ran through there. Nothing like it. We're going to talk about somebody tonight who had a truly mountaintop experience. Take your Bibles and go to Exodus chapter 3. I want to take us on Sunday night. I only have 2 left, really. We're going to look at two mountaintop experiences for this week and then 2 weeks from now. You know, I guess that everybody I look at in this room, everybody I look around is a Christian. We've given our lives to Christ. We've had this. We'll say that. It's more than that, isn't it? It's the trip. It's the journey that we're on. It's our walk with God. Great things can happen on mountaintops in the Bible. Life-changing things. I don't know how different a day it was for Moses as this was about to happen. Moses rolls out of bed and begins his day as a shepherd. He's gone. Moses was now not a young man as he used to be. He's been through a lot in his life. On this day, his world was going to turn. His world was going to change. It was this day that Moses would encounter his destiny. The day a nation would take its first step towards freedom. But for Moses, it was just another day out on the mountain with the sheep. Life is like that for many of us. Normal day. Days in which we get up, we do what we have to do, we relax when we have time, then we go to bed only to do what? Get up the next day and do it all over again. It wasn't always that way for Moses, was it? No. See, he was born a slave but raised a prince. Messed up his life, ran away from his problems, and found love and family in the desert. He once dined with heads of state, now he dines with sheep. He once walked the halls of a palace, and now he wanders the mountainside. His people had come from the seed of Abraham, who had heard the voice of God from 700 years earlier. His people were chosen by God, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, whose name was changed to Israel. God told Abraham about how his people would live in freedom in their own land, but right now, those people live in bondage in Egypt. Freedom and wealth were long past. Now it was slavery. Let's read Exodus 3, 1 through 6. Now Moses was tending the flock of Jethro, his father-in-law, the priest of Midian. He led the flock to the back of the desert and came to Horeb, the mountain of God. And the angel of the Lord appeared to him in a flame of fire from the midst of the bush. So he looked, and behold, the bush was burning with fire, but the bush was not consumed. Then Moses said, I will not turn aside and see this great sight, while the bush does not burn. So when the Lord saw that he turned aside to look, God called to him from the midst of the bush and said, Moses, Moses. And he said, Here I am. Then he said, Do not draw near this place. Take off your sandals off your feet, for this the place where you are standing is holy ground. Moreover, he said, I am the God of your father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. And Moses hid his face, for he was afraid to look upon God. Just imagine that. Just like any other day, Moses wakes up, going to take the sheep out of the pasture, let them graze, watch over them, be there with them, care for them. And as you've seen the movie with Charlton Heston, he plays Moses. You see, he's out there with the sheep, and he sees the smoke on top of the mountain. And he decides to go up and investigate where that smoke comes from. On the mountain of God. Mount Horeb. You know, and here's the funny thing. Why is there smoke? The bush wasn't burning. There shouldn't be no smoke, right? So the movie got it wrong. Didn't it? There wasn't no smoke. The bush wasn't burning. It was on fire, but it wasn't burning. When we think about it, sometimes Hollywood just totally messes up the Bible. But we ought not think anything strange about that. Hollywood messes up a lot of stuff. But think about this picture. He says Moses is out feeding the sheep, and he notices a bush burning, but not burning. Well, what did he say? What did he immediately know? He said, I'm in the presence of God. I can't look at that. God spoke to me. The voice of God. What do you think was more amazing? That God spoke from a burning bush, or that God spoke it all to a mere man, just like me?
He spoke to man.
I think that he spoke to Moses. Burning bush would be cool, but you're talking to God. I mean, that's powerful.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's the God of all heaven and earth who made everything says, Moses. Just imagine for a minute with me. That you're out in the field, Brother Manuel, and you're bush hogging or whatever, and you look over there and you see this bush that's burning or not burning. And you hear a voice that says, Manuel, what are you going to do? You're going to stop that tractor and listen, aren't you? He got a heat stroke. Just think how you would feel. Because God says, I need to talk to you. Moses. From the biblical record, God had not spoken for at least 400 years. Wow, he hadn't spoken a word. The voice of God was silent as the people of Egypt went from the joy of Joseph to the slavery of Moses. 400 years. Moses realized that it's God who is talking and is afraid because he's in the presence of God. That's probably how we would have to, right? Be pretty scared. Jesus said in John 10 that the sheep hear his voice and listen to him. The voice of God needs to be heard today, doesn't it? People need to hear God today. People need to listen to God's word and do what he asks. You see, when we think about this, there may not be a burning bush in your life or my life, but there can be a burning desire to hunger and thirst after God's word. To hunger and thirst for a relationship with God and to spend time talking with God. In Revelation, Jesus again would tell the churches that he who hears his words and obeys will not suffer the wrath of God to come. The question I wrote down next is, are we listening? He who hears my voice and obeys will not face the wrath of God. Folks, if we don't understand that more than any time in our world, and right now, what's going on in our country, around the world, all around the world, folks, God is being challenged by those who say they follow a God, and who want to kill those of us who say we follow the God of all heaven and earth. Now, they say they do too. But there's only one. There's only one God. And the God that's about to speak to Moses is God. And he's going to tell Moses something, and Moses is about to have this mountaintop experience like none other. This is one of those experiences. This is meeting God in such a powerful way that the last 40 years of Moses' life would be changed forever. Think about that. If something were to happen to you today that changed your life for the next 40 years, it'd be a powerful day, wouldn't it? The journey does matter. Now, what got Moses to this mountaintop? He made some mistakes. God called Moses to leadership. God called Moses to move people from slavery back to sonship. Moses may have felt he was not right for the job, or may not even have wanted the job. But God spoke to him on that mountaintop and life for everybody changed. Many of y'all may not know this woman. Her name is Gladys Allwards. She worked with the Yang Chen during the communist takeover in Yang Chen. She was a missionary with her and her husband. A harrowing journey trying to get out of Yang Chen. She faced one morning with no apparent hope for reaching safety. A 13-year-old girl who had been with her in the complex where was teaching tried to comfort her by saying, "Don't forget what you told us about Moses in the wilderness." To which Gladys replied, "Yes, my dear, but I'm not Moses." And then some of the most powerful words that probably ever came from a teenager's mouth. The young girl replied, "Yes, but God is still God." Wow. She said, "I'm not Moses." "Yes, but God is still God. God can still do whatever he wants. What is this not even teaching this young 13-year-old? To trust in God. Put your hope and your life in God's hands. And here from a teenager turns around and tells a missionary he's still God. Sometimes those of us who should be our strongest in our faith, need to listen to a little child who says, "Dad,
God can do whatever He wants. You just need to listen. Powerful words, isn't it? Here Moses is with God, and he's still God. And what does God still expect? For us to be moving people forward. For us to be getting people to go where God wants us to go. I want to pick up after the reading for just a minute. Go down with me to verses 7 through 10. Chapter 3. Listen to what happens next. And the Lord said, I surely have seen the oppression of my people who are in Egypt, and I've heard their cry because of their taskmasters. For I know their sorrow. So I've come down to deliver them out of the hand of the Egyptians and to bring them up from the land to a good and large land, a land flowing with milk and honey, to the place of the Canaanites and the Hittites and the Amorites and the Perizzites and the Hivites and the Jebusites. Now therefore, behold, the cry of the children of Israel have come to me, and I have also seen the oppression with which the Egyptians oppressed them. Come now, therefore, and I will send you to Pharaoh, that you may bring my people, the children of Israel, out of Egypt. God said, I need you. And Moses may not have eaten. We know what comes next. Hey, wait a minute, God. This ain't for me, right? You got the wrong guy. Not everyone is a Moses. Moses didn't think he was a Moses. Did he? But God is still God, and God still wants His people to move forward. The question we have to ask, we've been talking about transformation this Wednesday night series, is this question is, will I move forward into a deeper transformation with God, or will I move forward with a deeper willingness to submit to His will and not mine? Will I move forward to help this congregation be what I believe God is calling us to be? You see, every time there's something happens in a congregation, we need to understand God is working. We want to look at it as a bad thing or a hard thing, and it is hard on our hearts because we love each other. It's a hard move for me to make. It's hard to leave here, but it's a joy to go there. And so it's tearing us apart on both sides, and we love you, and we want to stay here and work with you, but we also know that we're needed there. And in answer to God, God said, Craig, I need you somewhere else. And I could have said like Moses, God, no, I'm in a great place. I got a great work here. I got a great family here. And God, I don't want to leave. You got the wrong guy. Well, what do you do when God says, Craig, I'm talking to you. You need to make a decision. You're going to follow my will or do what you want. I can promise you every time I haven't done what I feel that God has called me to do, it's not been good. So folks, as I look at this lesson, I know my time is running short. I'm asking this question. I know that we have got to keep moving forward in this congregation. You will always be my family, no matter what. You're going to be my brothers and sisters for eternity. And I will see you again. I will be back here, God willing, on this earth to see you. But I know I'll see you in eternity. And I know God is calling for some Moseses to step up. Right, Joe? Right, Gary? And lead. To keep this congregation moving forward. Don't let this be an opportunity to go backwards. We don't go backwards. We press on. We go forward. God is calling us to be who He's called us to be. God chose Moses to be a leader of a nation. God chooses people who often don't feel qualified for the job because God wants to make sure those who do help lead depend on God and not their own wisdom. God may be talking to you. Calling you to step up and lead. Be the Moses that He needs you to be. You may not see yourself as a leader, but I challenge you to listen to the voice of God. Years ago, when I first came here, I didn't know Brother Jesse could lead singing like this. Till one night, he got up here, and I was like, Jesse, lead. Now, we all know how we act. I mean, I didn't mean anything bad by that. I just never heard Jesse Lee sing it. And I'm like, okay, I'm game if he is. standing with him, and I'll help you all that I can. And then he got up there and I was like, you don't need my help. That's a great compliment. Because he accepted the challenge. And he stepped up. Now he's deep in the Lord. Because he accepted the challenge. And he's deep in the friend. Love the brother with all heart. He accepted the challenge that was put before him because we decided, you said, hey, we think he makes a great deed. Because we saw something, a leader. And I know these guys, they're looking back going, wait a minute, now, you sure you got the right guy, God? Wait a minute, I don't know about this. A deacon in the Lord's church, I don't know about this. I know when Brother Gary and Brother Mike were put up for elders. I know they felt the same thing. You sure you got the right guy? Am I really going to be an elder in the Lord's church? And we, as a congregation, saw in them the leadership quality. And what we needed in the leaders. We put their name before God, and God has given them that role as leaders to help Brother Joe and Brother Hosea. They have done a marvelous job. We have great leaders here who are going to, I know, be the Moses and push forward through this. And I know this. God won't call me to go somewhere else, that he won't send you another Moses to lead, to be there to encourage and to build you up. And 5 years from now, you're going to say, Craig,
no.
This guy's going to be good. I'm telling you. I've been praying about it. I said, God sent me to make the right man with his wife, and I'm actually sending him some kids. We need little kids. And I hope he sends you a guy that's got 7 or 8 kids. We'll have a whole youth group right there together, right? But I'll always be part of this place, no matter what. You know, that's the key. When Moses left his people, where was his heart? It was always in Egypt. That's what happens when you get called by God. Sometimes it hurts. Yes, sir, please, always.
You're going to have to sign contract.
I can do that.
Oh, amen.
I've already told you how to do that. So just give me the paper. I'll sign it right now. And it won't cost me anything. You just get me here and feed me, and that's it. I promise you I'll make that deal. My heart is here. To this local congregation, all local congregations need some Moses, some Aaron, and some Miriam. The local congregation needs to understand that the spiritual journey we are on is important and needs to continue to be God-centered at all times. The question is not you saying this, am I Moses for the Glenview Church of Christ? The question is, how is God still using people to help people move forward? God still uses you to move forward. You may not be an elder, you may not be a Bible class teacher, a song leader, but that doesn't keep you from helping people move forward with God. We all need encouragement. We need people who are builder-uppers and not tear-downers, right? We need people who will come and lift you up when nobody else will. And believe me, that's more important than anything in your life. But you have continued to do that for me, to build me up, encourage me, to do what God has called us to do. I did this lesson purposely tonight because I know next time I preach, I'm going to be a blowing idiot. So just know that. My last sermon will probably not audible on that cassette, I'll guarantee you. So just know Sunday and Sunday night, just come prepared to read the Bible. Because I know it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard for me, and I know it's going to be hard for you. It's not my first rodeo. Never leave. The lady said to me, just like Moses, I'm going home. going back where they started. Those kids need me. They started with me as 13, 14, 15 year old teenagers. Now they're deacons. They beg me to come home. How can I say no? God in the midst. Don't test the life we live. See, we meet God on the mountain. And I know I'm leaving a mountaintop experience to go to the valley. Because where I'm going is going to be a lot of hard work. Got a lot of climbing to do to get them back to where they need to be. God is calling you to be more than you've ever been in your life. More than you were last year. God needs us to step up. He's calling us to reach out and to help each other grow. And as Joe just said, you know, I'm only a phone call. Give me a phone call in 8 hours and come back to gas. That's how much you need to me. I say that to this group tonight because this is the core. You're the one that's always been there. Fighting the churches to get where we are today. The testimony of the people who showed up this morning for this community is because of all of us. And they started to see the love of the Glenview congregation in this community. The greatest testimony to me in this congregation is when the people in this community gave me a party day. And the little girl Carla, Robert Dawson, got everybody to be quiet. And this lady has never heard me preach. These were her words. I know he's a great preacher because of the way he heals, the way he treats us in this community. It says a lot about you. We got to live what we believe. We got to show people God. A God of love. A God of mercy. God needs people to step up. Get out of your comfort zone. Go to places you haven't gone before and treat people with love and respect. And they will say of you, I know you're a Christian by the way you live. That's what it's all about. That's what God is calling us to do. So tonight as we come before this moment, this mountaintop experience that we've had for 2.5 years, it's been great, and for me. I want you to know that God loves you. God's always got a place for us, a place to work, to help people, to encourage people, to love people. And in doing that, we will change lives. I know I'm changed for being here. So tonight as I give you this invitation, I ask you to look at your life. Are you all that God has called you to be for somebody else? Have you totally given your life by Moses and said, God, I may not be the right person, but I'm here. Here I am, Moses said when he called his name. I'm right here, God. I'm right here. What can I do? Be an encourager. Be a builder up, not a tear down. If you're not there, if there's something in right now that you need God to do to help you be who you can be in His help, the invitation is for us always to give our lives back to God, to be forgiven of sins we've committed, to have help in times of need, and we are who we're supposed to be. We don't treat people like we should.
To be able to come to God and say, God, I need forgiveness. I want to be better. I want to be the Moses you need me to be. Tonight, if you have a need, whether it's to give your life to Christ for the very first time, to die to yourself and be buried in the waters of baptism, to have your sins washed away, to rise to walk in a new life, or if it's to come back home and say, I need to be strengthened, I need to be encouraged, I want to do better. God is calling every time we meet. Every time the gospel is preached. God's knocking at the door of your heart saying, are you doing all you can do for me? I'm right here to help you, God says. If you need help tonight or you have a need, come as we stand and we sing this song together.